Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. So in the previous video, we have seen the modes of heat transfer, that is your conduction, convection, radiation and applications of the heat and mass transfer subject. Okay. Now in this lecture, we will be covering conduction. So how heat is transferred by conduction, or what are the mechanism of this heat transfer? Let us understand it very carefully. Let us come to board. So, what is conduction? So, first of all, let us understand it by an example. Let us understand there is a coffee mug containing your hot coffee and having one plate on the top of it. So, hot coffee is inside that mug. So, what I am doing is I am placing a spoon inside that mug. I'm placing a spoon inside that mug. So as you know, that spoon is made up of metal. I'm taking a metallic spoon, metal. So the temperature of that hot coffee is high than the temperature or surrounding temperature or the temperature of this spoon. So what will happen? There will be heat transfer from coffee, inside coffee in the spoon, from that point, let us take it point A to point B by some mechanism. Let us understand what is it. So there will be some heat transfer inside the spoon. Okay. So what we can observe is the heat transfer is occurring at the molecular level in the solid material, or what we can say that solid material, there is only heat transfer due to molecular, there will be some heat transfer due to molecular mechanism and all. So what we can how we can define conduction is, so conduction is, that is it is a microscopic phenomena, that is microscopic means single molecule we are talking about, that is microscopic level, and conduction is the mechanism of heat transfer in a stationary medium due to temperature difference. Okay. So as there is a temperature difference in hot coffee and that steel spoon, or in that point B, A and B, so there will be some heat transfer from A to B, and that is your what, solid medium or stationary medium. Okay. And some temperature difference is there, so heat will be transferred in this case. So this is generally for solids. Okay. So conduction will be in solids. So now one student can ask me, sir, is it possible to have conduction in fluids? Yes, there will be some heat transfer in fluids due to conduction. Let us understand how. So what is happening here? It is nothing but your conduction. Okay. Now let us assume another example, or let us take another example which is containing some fluid. Let us say fluid is inside this. So what I am taking is this plate, I am taking as a cold plate. Okay. And upper side I will be taking one hot plate. So let us take, that is red color, that is your hot plate on the top. hot plate. Okay, so hot plate is there. As the molecule of that fluid will be in touch with this plate, the molecule of that fluid will be in touch with that plate. What will happen? This will take some heat. This will take some heat from where? From the upper plate, that is hot plate, and heat will be transferred to this. Okay, heat will be transferred. Some heat will be transferred to this molecule, that water molecule. Let us assume that there is water. So there will be heat transfer due to this plate to this point. So when this water molecule or fluid molecule will take heat, what will happen? When temperature of that fluid molecule will increase, then we know density will decrease. Density will decrease. So as the density will decrease, the velocity of that molecule will increase, and it will try to move up. It will try to move up, but as it will try to move up, there is nothing, so there is no escape, so it cannot go up. So what will happen? It will be here only, and as it will be here, then it will become in some we can assume that it will be in rest at that position. So it will be in rest, and as we know there is heat transfer, so in rest, so this we can say it will be in rest, or we can say fluid will be in rest. Fluid will be in rest, due to which there is heat transfer, there is heat transfer, there is heat transfer. So when fluid is in rest, there is an heat transfer. So similarly, this will, by some momentum diffusivity, it will transfer its heat to the another molecule, then another molecule, then another molecule. So like this, the heat will transfer to the downward, and the fluid molecules will be in rest. So this type of heat transfer is in fluids will be called your conduction. So conduction can occur in fluids, conduction can occur in solids. So for both, they must be in the stationary position, they must be at rest. So for this, so we can say for conduction, medium must be at rest, or that medium can be what? This medium can be solid or your fluid. Okay guys, I think it is clear right now. So how conduction is occurring in solids, let us see, and how it is occurring in fluids. What is the mechanism, how it is transferring? Let us see this. Okay, so let us slowly your concepts will be built. So just focus on the subject and focus on the board. So guys, if let us say if I will talk about solids only, so in solids, conduction occurs due to molecular lattice vibrations, and free flow of electrons. Maybe you know valence electrons, you better know, I think. Okay, so what is your molecular lattice vibration and what is free flow of electrons? Let us understand it carefully. That is how heat is transferred by conduction in solids. So if I will talk about lattice vibrations, so you may have seen in chemistry that there is some kind of shape. So every substance is having some kind of shape. Let us, I am talking about solids. Solids have this kind of shape. So there will be some molecules like this. Okay. So when I am giving some heat to one molecule, it is vibrating at its mean position. Okay, and by vibrating, it is transferring its heat to the another molecule. How it is happening? Let us see. Let us observe this. Like there are molecules. Now this is looking like spacious, but it is not like that. It will be like something like this. So these will be molecules. These molecules will be like this. Okay. So these molecules are, sorry, these atoms or molecules, we can say, are vibrating at their mean position, and they are transferring energy. They are transferring energy from one molecule to another molecule, from this molecule to this molecule, and in this way, due to lattice vibrations, heat is transferred from point A to point B. Okay, guys, heat will be transferred from point A to point B. Okay, now you can also understand it. If somebody is unable to understand, let us take another example. Let us say number of you have played one game. So let us take an example of number of cars or number of cycles on the cycle stand. So let us say number of cycles are there on the cycle stand. So if one cycle will fall, it will just be on the another cycle. It will just fall down, then it will fall onto the another cycle, then it will fall onto the other, and so on. If there is some energy transfer to this one cycle, then it will be transferred from this side to this side by transferring in between these particular cycles. Okay, guys. Okay, so it can also be understood like this. If one student is there having book in his hand, okay, and giving it to the another student, and this student is giving it to the another student, so like this they are transferring book in this manner, and the last molecule will have that particular book in his hand. And similarly, like this, there is heat transfer from this molecule to this molecule, and from this molecule to this molecule, and like this, due to lattice vibrations, there will be energy transfer, which is nothing but your heat. Okay, now what is free flow of electrons? How it is transferred within the material with the free flow of electrons? Maybe you have gone in chemistry, you know that there is some nucleus, and outside there are some electrons, and there will be some valence electrons present in this. There will be some valence electrons present outside that particular atom. So what is happening is this electron will move. So from atom to atom, the electron will move. Or like this, electron will move, and due to this free flow of electrons, there will be heat transfer. So generally, this mode of heat transfer, which is conduction, will transfer heat. Like 30% heat will be transferred by this, and 70% heat will be transferred by this mechanism. So these both mechanisms will be in conduction or in solids. This I am talking about metallic solids. Okay, this I am talking about metallic solids. So because free electrons are only available in the metallic solids, so I am talking about this. Now guys, next is that how heat is transferred in fluids. Let us check. Let us analyze this. How it is transferred. So heat transfer in fluids, or we can say mechanism of heat transfer in fluids. So generally in fluids, what is happening is, like simple molecules of fluids are there. Molecules of fluid will be there. So if I will increase, or I will give some kind of like little bit of heat to this molecule will have energy, will have heat. It will try to move and as velocity of that molecule will increase, it will hit another molecule or it will collide with the another molecule. So like this it will collide, and maybe you have gone in ninth class physics momentum. I think you have gone in this, you have studied this. So there will be some momentum transfer from this molecule to this molecule, and like this there will be some heat transfer in the fluids. So in heat transfer in fluids generally occurs due to what? Due to molecular collision, due to molecular collision, or we can say that is momentum diffusivity. Momentum diffusivity. Momentum diffusivity. So molecular collision, momentum diffusivity, and also we can say in fluids, the fluids having less molecular weight, the fluid having less molecular weight. So if m, that is molecular weight, will be less, then like for your hydrogen, neon, axion, like this, then if I will give heat to this molecule, then velocity of that molecule will be high. Okay, so velocity of this will increase after giving heat. If I will give heat to this, and velocity will be high, due to which there will be more heat transfer due to momentum collision or momentum diffusivity. Okay, now if I am talking about the fluids having more molecular weights, so what will happen? If I will give energy, like this is some simple molecule of having large molecular weight, if I will supply some heat to this, okay, then velocity will be less. Okay, now when velocity will be less, what will be there? Then there will be some collision, due to which heat transfer will be less. So heat transfer will be less. So like this, heat is transferred due to momentum transfer or momentum diffusivity in your fluids. Okay, so my dear students, there will be heat transfer in fluids due to momentum transfer or momentum diffusivity, and this will be the only mode of heat transfer in fluids. Okay, like this only there will be like this there will be heat transfer due to conduction in fluids. Okay, so this is happening from higher temperature to lower temperature. Let us move on to the next topic, that how we can define conduction in both these mediums. Like we have seen solids, we have seen liquids. So how this will be defined, let us see. So conduction in stationary medium. So conduction in stationary medium, or we can say both, having like solids and liquids at rest, so now solids, or we should have like fluids at rest. Generally it is not for gases, like okay, fluids at rest we can take. So there will be heat transfer, and this heat transfer will be given by a governing law, which is called your Fourier's law of heat conduction, which is your Fourier's law of heat conduction. So according to this Fourier's law, your heat transfer is, according to this Fourier's law, so I am not dealing now, so let us I will discuss these Fourier assumptions in the thoroughly. Now let us understand what is this, how we can define this law, how it is happening. So in Fourier, according to Fourier's law, heat transfer in stationary medium is directly proportional to perpendicular area and temperature gradient. No, it will be directly proportional to temperature gradient also. Temperature gradient. Let us see. So what Fourier law is saying, what it states that heat transfer in a stationary medium is directly proportional to the area, and heat transfer in a stationary medium is directly proportional to the temperature gradient. So let us understand what is temperature gradient. Some students may know. So this is like at higher temperature, this is at your lower temperature. So there will be some heat transfer from higher to the lower temperature, So students, as we know that as x is increasing, the temperature is decreasing, okay, in this direction. So this is your temperature gradient. Here you can calculate, this is your temperature gradient, which is dt by dx. This is given by this, some kind of theta, okay. Now, so we can take it like this. So that implies Q will be equal to, that is heat transfer will be equal to some proportionality constant K multiplied by A multiplied by dt by dx. Okay, students? Multiplied by dt by dx. Okay. Where K is your, where K which is proportionality constant. K is your proportionality constant. So let us understand what is K. We will be having this K is proportionality constant I am taking, but generally it is defined as the thermal conductivity of the material. Okay. Now let us take what is the unit. Thermal conductivity of the material. So this is your Fourier's law. Now let us understand it carefully. So if there is some heat transfer from this side to surface, this is the surface, and I am transferring heat like this, okay. So when there is heat transfer like this, so this area will be perpendicular. This area will be perpendicular to this. If I will take like it in like in this form, so this area will be perpendicular. And if this is having some different temperature, this surface is having different temperature, this is having some different temperature, because due to temperature difference only there will be heat transfer. So in this direction, this temperature gradient will be like this. This is x and this is some temperature delta T, change in temperature delta T. So this will be temperature gradient and this will be perpendicular to the surface where it is transferred. So this will be defining it from Fourier's law. So if I will talk about that particular K, which is nothing but your kappa, if I will talk about, let us see K, which is nothing but your kappa. So K, which is your defined as your thermal conductivity of the material. Okay, students. So let us calculate the unit of K, dt by dx. So generally you will have a minus sign here, but I have not told you yet. Let us understand why we have a minus sign here in Fourier's law. So my dear students, if I will take the unit of K, what is unit? Let us see first of all what is unit of K. So generally we take heat in watt and area will be in meter square, multiply temperature will be degree Celsius or some Kelvin, divided by some dx. This will be having your dx. So meter will go. So the unit of K will become that is kappa. Conductivity will become watt. This will come to this side, watt. This will come to this side, watt per meter Kelvin or degree Celsius. So this will be unit of K, that is kappa. Okay. Now why we are having that negative sign? Let us understand this carefully. So when there is temperature difference within the solid or something, so this will be like, let us say this is a higher temperature, this is at lower temperature, and this is x in this direction, according x in this direction. Okay, this is higher temperature, this is lower temperature, and x in this direction. So what we are having, that temperature gradient in this direction. So can I calculate dt? Yes, we can calculate. So dt will be, that is change in temperature with length will be nothing but, with thickness will be nothing but T final, which is nothing but T lower minus T higher. So this will become what? T lower minus T higher, but what we have to take? T higher minus T lower. In this case, T higher minus T lower. Higher temperature to lower temperature. Okay. So to make this thing positive, we are adding a negative sign here. We are adding a negative sign here in this Fourier's law equation. So for using this law, you are having some certain kind of assumptions, which are number one. So assumptions for using this will be, number one, that material should be isotropic. Sorry, it will be like first of all, let me rub this. So using your Fourier's law, you must have some assumptions, which are, I'm telling assumptions to use this equation. So there must be steady state heat transfer. I must tell it like in the beginning, but what we have let us understand it here. So how we can use this equation afterwards. So steady state heat transfer. Number second is your material is homogeneous. The density is not changing with respect to time, space and temperature. And number third will be the bounding surfaces. The bounding surfaces are at isothermal level. Isothermal. Like how they are at isothermal? So if there are surfaces, the temperature is not changing. The temperature is not changing like in this direction or with. So every surface is having a constant temperature. That is, let us say this is at 280, this is at 240, this is at 230. So every surface will be having the same temperature, and the temperature is not changing with respect to time. Okay, and in this case also we have taken one dimensional, because we are including x only, one dimensional heat transfer. One dimensional heat transfer. Okay guys, so this is up to it. We have defined like in this video we have gone through all the concepts which are necessary for your GATE examination. So hope you have understood well. Thank you so much.